everybody. This is Dr. Fang-Mei Law from Tiffin University. Welcome to this the lecture of in structure of research paper. Okay, so actually this pretty much is the information session rather than lecture. So for my student from Tiffin University research design class students, how's everybody? I know right now you are in the process of writing your research paper and you are worried about how can you finish the 20 pages research paper, right? So I make the two parts of the video lecture about this matter. The first part, you can go back to watch that. It's about how do you do the abstract, how do you do the introduction, those introduction including the problem statement, the literature review and overview of present study. Okay, so if you missed that part yet, you can go back to watch that part before you watch this part. Okay, so if you already finished that, now this is the time to do this part. Okay, and again I want to say, even a lot of you worry about like 20 pages paper. After you listen all this information session, you should have more confidence. It's not that hard, okay? So trust me, trust yourself, you can do it, okay? So now let's talk about after you finish your literature review and overview of present study, then what do you do next? Okay, now this is the part you need to start to tell the reader what's your plan. Okay, what did you do to get your research done? Okay, so let me turn on the PowerPoint so we can start to review that part. Okay, called methodology. Okay. Okay, so for this section, it's 20 points, and you can see they include 4 parts. One is participants. 5 points is describing your sample. The second part called instruments. That is 5 points to describe your research tools. The third part is procedures, describing how you did, okay, or will do it. Okay, 5 points. And the last part is data analysis. It's how to justify and describe an analysis. Okay, and these 4 parts, they are 5 points and together to make 20 points. Okay, so for participants, okay, you pretty much tell the reader who are them as your participants. Okay, because as a researcher, it's important to tell the reader who are your participants, because different participants maybe give you different results. Okay, although we believe, if you do the sample, random sample, you were able to get pretty much, generalize to generalize your result to the population, but still, they more and less, you will have some bias. Okay, so it's important to report your participants. Okay, so now, for this section, sometimes students underestimate how important for this section. Okay, so quite often I may have students write me the paper and they only have 1 line for participants. They say, I have 60 people in this research, and that's it. No, that's not enough, because I really need to know within these 60, for example, how many they are male, how many they are female, how many they are freshmen, sophomore, junior, senior, or how many they are this major or the major, right? So depend on in how you collect those data, whatever when you put in your demographic part of your question, you can do the frequency, you can do the mean standard deviation and put in this section. Okay, so if you do the age, also I want to remind you, some of you maybe I see you run the age for the frequency when you do the practice. My suggestion is try to run the mean and standard deviation for age, so then in your paper you can say, of course you can say the range is from here to there, but then the average is what age and standard deviation. Okay, that's the age. Okay, then in terms of the gender, major, school level, you can report whatever you have. You can even use the pie chart or other, bar chart, whatever you prefer to present in this section. Okay, and then when you talk about the subgroup like gender, I also like to see the percentage. Okay, so for example, if you have a 30 out of 60 is female, then you will have parentheses say 50%. Okay, so on and so forth. Is it clear? So you need to give me a paragraph. Okay, I want to give you 5 points, but then you need to give me enough information for 5 points. Okay, that sounds fair? Okay, the next one called instrument. Okay, so the instrument actually, let me show you the PowerPoint first and we can come back here for discussion. Okay, so here you can see the instrument is talk about, you need to describe why you create this survey, how you create your questionnaire, what theory you based on, did you check did you use any article as your reference, how you have them answer your questionnaire. So, for example, you can say, if you use this Likert scale, you can say 1 equal what, 2 equal what, 3 equal what, 4 equal what, okay? And also, you can show 1 or 2 your survey question as an example. Say this how my questionnaire looks like, okay? And then the last one, I say what is the reliability of your survey? That's compact alpha, okay? I will show you in some other place, but if it's not available, if you don't really know how to do it, you can ask me. Otherwise, if you don't want to report in this time, it should be okay, but actually I prefer people report this part. Okay, so make sure you check with me how to do that part. Okay, so one thing I want you to be aware in this part, this is not the place for you to copy and paste your questionnaire. This is not the place, okay? Because quite often students will copy paste their questionnaire here, say, here you go, this is my instrument. I will have you attach the questionnaire at the end of your paper, but not here. So please don't copy and paste your questionnaire here. Okay, so when the first one I say why you create this questionnaire, don't say because that's required by the class. Don't say that. You say the aims or the purpose of this questionnaire is to measure what? Measure something based on your research, okay? Measure about college student, their stress level. Or the purpose is measure about people's point of view about gun control. Something like that, okay? Then how do you get those questions? Okay, you can say you are based on your personal experience create this, okay? Or if you actually read some articles, or actually you based on a theories, then you can put that, you can say that. So the question design is based on somebody's theory, okay? And then you put the reference, okay? Then it's important you tell people how many subscale you have. For example, you may have one section you are measure about people's knowledge, another section you ask about people's opinion. So you can have a sections, okay? And also something will be so cool if you give your questionnaire a name. Okay, usually in my research I always give my questionnaire a name, so then I can say this is the questionnaire name is this. So then later when you describe your questionnaire, you can use the name. okay, and then come out initial. So that sounds cool, right? It's not required, but that'll be cool. Rather than just say my questionnaire, you can say based on, for example, Law's stress level questionnaire. Okay, so that's my name for my questionnaire. Okay, so this is an instrument. Okay, you need to have enough information to earn 5 points. You need to have enough information to earn 5 points. Okay, so it's important to get enough information, and also you may want also say how much time take them to finish your questionnaire. So maybe 10 minutes, 5 minutes, you can describe under the instrument, or you can also describe in under the procedure. Okay, so that's 2 parts. The third part called procedure I just mentioned. That'll be next session. Okay, let's go to PowerPoint first. Okay, so procedure. It's important to tell the reader you have been get approval by IRB. Okay, if you don't, you cannot really write this paper. So you're supposed to get IRB approval, right? Then the second part, you describe how do you get your sample. Okay, for example, you say you contact professor, you get professor's permission. Okay, they post a questionnaire for you in their class, this, so on and so forth. Okay, then you also make sure tell you give them the consent form so they know the participation for this research is volunteer. They can withdraw anytime. And then the last one is I just mentioned earlier, how long take them to complete a survey. How long take them to complete a survey. Okay, so it's important, again, it's important here is give me enough information, okay, about 1 paragraph, okay, to earn 5 points. Make sure I want to see at least 1 paragraph, okay. And of course now it's because during this coronavirus time, it's hard for you to get your data, and so that part you can describe when you write your limitation. Okay, but here, whatever you do, just put here, for people to know, because whenever you do, however you do your research, that will affect your result. Okay, so this part actually 5 points. Okay, again 5 points, at least 1 paragraph. Okay, so next part is called data analysis. Okay, okay, so this is a procedure. I don't know if I push them in the right place. Okay, yeah, I think we showed this before, right? Okay, so next one is called data analysis. Okay, this is not a place for you to show your results. So please remember that. This is not the place for you to show your result, okay? This is only the place for you to justify how you use what statistic to test your hypothesis, okay? And then it's important to tell people your alpha level is 0.05. Your alpha level is 0.05, okay? So is that clear for this part? This is not the place for you to show your research result. This is not, okay? Because I get that a lot. So I keep reminding, and hopefully you remember, okay? Because if you miss this part, you miss 5 points, okay? Every part you miss a point, okay? So remember in the in the first section, okay, when you do your introduction part, the end of the session, you lay out your hypothesis. Okay, so here you need to say for which hypothesis you use what statistics to test which one. Okay, so match which one or what, or you can say I use independent T for my hypothesis 1, hypothesis 2. Okay, and I use correlation for my hypothesis 3. Okay, and then why you use that? You can say because they are scale, I compare 2 groups, so that's why I use this. And because it's a scale, I compare more than 2 groups, I compare 3 groups, that's why I use this. Okay, so you need to say the reason, okay, and then important, you need to say my significance level is 0.05. Okay, so for these 4 sections, you get 20 points, right? Participation, 5 points, instrument, 5 points, procedure, 5 points, data analysis, 5 points. But you need to give me enough information for this 4 parts so I can give you 20 points. Okay, so you can see you got what, 35 points from abstract introduction, and you get 20 points, so you get what, 55 points already. Is that hard? I don't think so. I think you can do it, right? Okay, so next part is most exciting part. Okay, that's something you are looking for. Okay, it's called result. Okay, let's go back to our PowerPoint. Okay. Okay, so this is a research result and discussion. So it's 30 points here. Okay, 30 points here. So you have 15 points for your result and 15 points for your discussion and conclusion. Okay, so for your result section, it's 15 points. Okay, so here is the place you show me your research result. Okay, this is a place you show me your research result. Okay, and actually it's very easy to follow. This pretty much like the one I show you how to do the statistic. Okay, so first of all, you show your hypothesis. Okay, then you show me your what statistic you use, then you show me your table, then you give me the conclusion. Okay, so it's very so if you know how to use SPSS and you come out that result. So actually if you download SPSS program and then you follow my video, I don't see you any problem for this. Okay, so make sure each hypothesis, when I say each, is mean each pair. That's why I put a finger like this. Okay, non-hypothesis and research hypothesis, that's one set, right? Then this set, what statistic you use, and then what's the table, and what's your conclusion. Okay, and then the next one is the next set, and then what's your hypothesis, what statistic, what's your table, and what's your conclusion. And remember, less than 0.05, it's good news. That means you get significant difference, right? You get reject your HO, right? So this is the part you get 15 points. If you do everything right, I don't see why not that you have 15 points, okay? If you didn't write a part, if you didn't do this test, then you will have trouble. But if you do the test, so if you don't know how to do, make sure you ask question, okay? And also your conclusion, less than 0.05, that means you reject, okay? Because if you make the wrong decision, that will cause you lose the points. Okay, sounds good? So then after this, then you do discussion, okay? Then let's go to our PowerPoint. Okay, so when you do the discussion, okay, so this will be the place you start to discuss what happened, okay? You do all this research and what happened. What are you need to say in here? Okay, so let me give you some explanation. Okay, so quite often I see students say again for their result. Okay, you don't have to repeat. Okay, you just need to use whatever your result to compare from your literature review. Okay, so don't give me those numbers. You already have number. Show me on result section. In this section, you can just say. So for example, you can say, based on my first hypothesis, I found male and female, they have a different significance, different in their stress level. Okay, and I found actually female have a higher level of stress than male. Okay, so this result consistent with my previous literature from somebody's research. Okay, so if that is the case, okay, if your literature review, you have some article there, somebody research show female have a higher level of stress level than male, or they have some theory say female more likely to feel stress than male, then you can put them with your result to be together. You say my result consistent with the theoretical point of view of this or empirical evidence of this. Okay, so they are consistent. Chances are in your research, you may also find some research, they have an update result. Okay, then you can say that. So, however, right, however, based on other people, that research show they are males supposed to be higher level stress than female, and so they are inconsistent with my result, and why. So you give some explanation about why. Okay, so this pretty much what you need to do about your discussion. Okay, I don't want to see anything new in here. Okay, so sometimes students, did not discuss anything about that in your literature review, and you suddenly bring out a lot of some article and you say in here, I'm kind of like, what? Don't surprise me. Okay, don't surprise me. If you find that information later, you find that's important, then put them back to the literature review, and so you can discuss here. Okay, so don't just come out. Sometimes I see students, because they find they don't have enough page, so they find something else, and then they start to talk about here just to make up the page number. No, that's not what I want. Okay, here pretty much whatever you find from the result, you discuss and compare with the literature review. It sounds clear? Okay, so that connection you need to make sure you have. Okay, so after you have this, another part of your including your discussion, I put them in separate category, but then they are come as your same together, because I give together for 15 points. It's called conclusion. Okay, conclusion. What's conclusion about? Let me go to PowerPoint. Okay, so you can see here, say conclusion is give a very short, have reader review a little bit what your result, and then you talk about limitation and talk about the recommendation. Okay, so this also a very important part for your research paper. Sometimes students curious, say, how can I talk about limitation? If I talk about limitation, that means my research is not enough, then you are going to take point off from me? No. Opposite. Okay, if you talk about actually, you are going to get point. Okay, why so? Because nobody's perfect, and we as a researcher, we know we have to be very humble and be conservative. So whatever limitation we have to say it. Okay, we have to say it. So what limitation you have? First of all, I know for sure we don't have enough sample size, right? Quite many of you have struggled to get enough sample, right? And it's okay. And so just say not enough sample size is your limitation, so your result may be not able to represent the big population, right? And what other limitation you may have? Yeah, you do. Like our research is only based on one institution, right? So they are not able to represent for the whole group, right? And also because what the coronavirus, right? So actually, you have limited access to get your sample. So then, you need to use email, and that can be an issue about confidentiality, all this, right? So something like this will be your limitation, and then feel free to discuss in this session called limitation. But you cannot just say, okay, I have limitation, then what? Then you need to give recommendation. Okay, so the next session will be recommendation. You say, I encounter this limitation, So for my further research, my suggestion will be doing what to improve the research, right? So that's called recommendation for further research. Another recommendation you can also do is based on your research result, and you can give the recommendation for the people in the in the field, in the practice field. Okay, how do they apply this? So for example, if you find that a female have more stress than male, maybe you can suggest the student affair to conduct some stress reduce workshop for the female student or something like that, right? So that's it's your limitation and your recommendation. And your recommendation can be two sides. One is go to further research, another go to the practice. It sounds good? Okay, then you're almost done. Okay, you're almost done. So then after that, you need to list your reference. You need to list your reference. Okay, remember 10 is my requirement, minimum. Okay, and please list as an APA style. Okay, then for this 10 have to be the 10 you really use. So then that means when I read your paper, I can see you cite these people in your paper, then you list them into your reference list. Okay, if you didn't use it, don't list it. But also, I find some students have some issue is because when you are looking your article, you may find they cite from somewhere else, right? So quite often, students just use those information and also use the citation they have. Well, and quite often I see you have a citation there, but I don't see the reference list. Why? Chances are you don't really have the article in your hand. Okay, so if you find the information is very good and you really want to use it, then why not go back to the Ohio link and find those articles so they can become your primary resource. You can put your reference list. Okay, if you don't really if you are not able to find it, you can say those people say that, but actually I cite from another article. Okay, so then the reader know what part is your secondary reference, which part your primary reference. Okay, sounds good. And then make sure you follow APA. How do you know what's APA? If you're not sure, check with Google, right? Or when you find those articles from Ohio Link, okay, we also call Dragon Quest, then you can click the place, say citation, and then they will show you how to cite for different kind of format. Okay, one of them will be APA. That sounds clear? Okay, then when you finish, then please go back to check your structure. Okay, if your paper structure, did you follow the structure I require? Like all these sections. Did you follow APA style for the citation? Okay, because I have a 5 point is judged by the structure of your paper. Okay, and that's very easy, but also quite often students make mistake. Okay, and one thing maybe I just want to make you aware, when you cite the information, if you put the quotation mark, that means you directly quote and make sure you have their page number after this quotation mark. You say that's from whom, what year, and then what page number. But if you didn't have a quotation mark, that means you are not directly cited. Then I won't expect to see any page number. Okay, I see students have that mistake quite often. And also if they have more than 2 others, other for a research or book, only the first one you list all of them, right? But then after that you will have the last name of first author and then ETAL. Okay, I think you should know that, right? Okay, so that is if you have that mistake, then this paper structure part, you will get some point off. Okay, then when you all finish, okay, make sure you have the attach your blank questionnaire and blank consent form. Blank. Okay, you don't need to give me the whole thing. For those the consent form, if you have a student sign, you're supposed to give me, put in my office, but we are not in school right now. So hold that and give to me next semester if you get a chance. Okay, so and finish everything, submit to the Moodle. Okay, before I kind of mentioned I want you to have a paper copy, but I know now it's not possible. And then also I don't want you to spend the money, print them out, or send the mail to me. No, it's okay. Just submit to the Moodle and I can check from there. Okay, so actually this will be the procedure you have to follow through to get your 20 pages of paper. Okay, sounds easy. It takes time, but it's not impossible. Okay, and please start to work now. Don't wait until the last minute. It will be no way for you to finish in one day. Okay, and make sure you know how to run the data. Make sure you know how to do all this stuff. Okay, so any questions, shoot me email, leave me a message in the Moodle, and I'll get back to you. And thank you for your attention, and thank you for your lesson. And I see you. Have a good day, and then stay healthy. Bye bye.